Hey guys, it's Tolomic here with DNB Academy, and today I'm going to look at humanizing hi-hats and kind of making loops more interesting, I guess. So I've taken this hat. This is from the DNB Academy Creative Suite. I think it was originally from like a loop, but for the sake of example, I've kind of cut it out and just created our own loop. So I've just copied them and pasted this. So literally the same hat repeating over and over and over again. And so the way that people often gravitate towards when they're humanizing is changing timing, right? So if we were to create some sort of groove, maybe move every other one off grid slightly. If I was to then just do that, that kind of gives it a bit of groove and makes it more natural. But there's a lot of other stuff that we can do to do this. So the first one is by adjusting the volume of each individual hit. So let's take these offbeat hits and bring them down a bit more. Let's kind of exaggerate that a bit more. So if I take this and just... Cool. These last two, that one maybe come down a little bit more. That one's probably slightly too loud. Cool. So that's one way that we can do it. Another thing to think about is when you're playing hats. Naturally, anyone who's a drummer has sort of been around drummers. If you're hitting something harder, the decay of that sound is longer, right? So if I really smack a hi-hat, then it's going to ring. Try that again. If I really smack a hi-hat, it's going to ring for a lot longer. If I tap it, it's going to be a much shorter, lighter sound. So what that means is that we can go through and like really shorten the decay on some of the lighter hits. So we'll leave those louder ones as is and really shorten some of them. So it's probably slightly exaggerated. Let's bring some of these back out. Obviously, whenever you're doing something like this, there's going to be some sort of trial and error. Cool, so something like that can work. You could also program this. So if I tend not to do this, but it can work. If we drag impulse in, just like Ableton's drum machine, drag, if I do that, to consolidate it and then drag it down to here. And then just program in the same pattern that we've got there. We can then set our velocity, set our decay, and automate our decay on each hit. Do it this way. It's a bit quicker. So actually, let's do velocity first. So pressing all sorts of buttons here. There we go. If you hold Command or Control, I would imagine it is on Windows, you can like, and then just drag, and then control your decay this way instead. Again, I've made it slightly too short on some of these. What we can also do is just drag that up a bit, like that. And already you can hear that with a bit of tweaking, we can easily like humanize that loop And then if you wanted it back in audio again, just freeze, then drag down, and you can see then the difference in all those hits. Bring that level down. Yeah, so there you go. There's a few different ways that you can take a one shot and make it feel a bit more human whilst keeping it on grid. There'll be times as well where you can take this, you know, I say while keeping it on grid. You could obviously add groove and stuff in post, but there's a lot more that you can do to humanize a loop. Hope that helps. Any questions, let us know, and I'll see you in the next one.